it on? Yeah, it's on. Good evening, well, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your favorite Warlock Jay here, and today I'm actually going to be doing a review of Samurai 8 by Masashi Kishimoto, and with art by Akira Okubo. The story is, well, it's the new manga by Masashi Kishimoto, and but this time he's not doing the art. But if you look very closely, it actually looks very reminiscent of Masashi Kishimoto's art. So I did some research behind Akira Okubo, and it turns out it's actually Akira Okubo was one of Masashi Kishimoto's longtime like artists who would sometimes do some of the background work, and so that's why his style is very much reminiscent of Masashi Kishimoto himself, because he's actually worked with him for a very long time. I think this is the first manga he's ever actually like fully drawn, however. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Masashi Kishimoto got really famous here in the West for Naruto, and this is kind of like his new something new that he's working on. But yeah, the story is about Hachimaru, who wants to become a samurai. And samurai in this world are kind of like these noble warriors who could cross like dimensions and are skilled in both body and mind. Incredible skills with the blade, honorable, things like that. You know, typical samurai stuff. But this takes place in a science fiction based world. So instead of being in like medieval Japan, you're kind of like in the far future, more or less. So the interesting thing about this specific volume is that the first chapter is 74 pages long. Yes, you heard that right, 74 pages. Boom, right here. 74 pages. I'm not gonna lie to you, that first chapter was very much of a slog to read. Because that first chapter, the first key, is a good majority of it is actually Hachimaru playing a video game, and here we are thinking it's the real thing. And then it just cuts to Hachimaru's dad telling him it's time to make medicine. Hachimaru wants to become a samurai, but the thing is that he's very sick, and that since he was born, he's actually been like linked up to like this giant machine that takes like up the entire house. And basically his dad is just like, come on Hachimaru, it's time to take your medicine. And he's just like, screw you dad, I don't want to do I'll do whatever I want. He's kind of like, Hachimaru in this case is kind of reminiscent of Naruto, like in at least the first couple of volumes. Super rebellious, goes to the beat of his own drum, things like that. Yeah, like, and it kind of, what I do like about this, however, is that, it kind of shows how frail Hachimaru is. When he gets super excited in a video game, he kind of just like shoots his fist up in the air, and he hits what seems to be like a wooden beam, and then just straight up breaks his wrist, which I thought was a really nice touch. I do like Hachimaru's pet, Hayataro. He's a dog, but because of digital programming, I think it doesn't make it really clear. He meows like a cat, which I just find hilarious. Yeah. Eventually, like Hachi meets a Daruma doll. and it turns out it has like this great mystical warrior who looks like a dog. This is what he looks like when we're introduced to him. Boom. I want to point out all this happens when like the first chapter, which I had to reiterate. It's 74 pages long. It throws a in one of the Naruto volumes, and Masashi Kishimoto, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. In one of the earlier Naruto volumes, Masashi Kishimoto kind of points out that he didn't really pay attention in English class, and with all due respect, it kind of shows, because like he's just throwing everything out at us in one whole chapter, and it's a long chapter, so it's a bit of a slog to read, but you have to pay attention to the chapter because it just throws everything all out there at once. It also points out what a samurai really is along here. Like, samurai are basically like warriors who are given like cybernetic bodies and these things called keys, which are kind of like they resemble a spinal cord. And then there's these little stars inside of each of them called locker balls. And if you can only become a samurai if you're compatible with a locker ball. And they're really cool, and it gives them really cool abilities. Like this guy, this bad guy samurai, literally chops his own arm off, and he points out he can't really die from it, and then it just regenerates. So Daruma is a blind dog who's also a samurai. I think he's one of the cooler main characters. Like, imagine having a samurai sensei who's also a dog. Then we have, in the second chapter, we are introduced to Nanashi, who is a samurai in training, but she's essentially hikikomori. She hasn't seen the outside world in years, and doesn't want to see the outside world. So Hachimaru, who at this point, in the end of the first chapter, commits seppuku and then gets reincarnated as a super healthy, strong samurai, challenges her to like a game that they play, and it turns out Hachi is the #1 player in the world. Can't relate. And they kind of become friends. Nanashi literally means nameless, so in a dickhead move by Hachimaru, he's like, okay, I'll just call you Nanashi. Which is, again, kind of a dick move now that I think about it. But yeah, now comes the #1 question. Did I enjoy this manga? I'm not gonna lie to you, ladies and gentlemen, and those in betwixt. It's a very hard read. I would go so far as to say that this is the Dune. If Masashi Kishimoto keeps writing this way, this could easily become the Dune, not Doom, Dune, D-U-N-E, of anime. Now I say this because, if those of you who haven't read Dune, it's a science fiction novel by Frank Herbert. It is widely considered to be one of the most seminal works of science fiction ever to be written. The problem is that in the first 200 pages of Dune, nothing happens. And I'm not saying that the same case is in here, but it's that much of a slog to read. I'm not the 74 page first chapter of this book lays down the groundwork just one after the other. It's like one big giant exposition dump. The artwork is cool. The character designs are pretty cool. I really like that they're incorporating a lot of ideas here. For example, Nanashi, whenever her parent figure, so to say, in this first chapter is actually her left and her right hand. Whenever she flexes, they start talking for her. So whenever she's playing games, they communicate for her. I believe there are Mrs. Left and Mr. Right, which I thought was actually pretty cute. And in one of the chapters, there's actually a bio reader on one of the katanas, so that when someone takes a samurai's blade, for example, it won't draw unless if that's the person's specific fingerprint, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, the one thing that I cannot complain about this is that once that first chapter is done, the rest of the chapters are incredibly short. Like, they are at least 20 pages long. It's just like this one right here, this image right here. Let me see if I could just darn you, Kindle. Like, some of the art here is just pretty cool. Like, this is where they're at, like, some sort of shrine, I believe, and just look at that art. It's so dope. Story. Let me just try to sum up how I feel with the story. It's a lot of cool ideas, but you have to dig through the slog to understand and appreciate those cool ideas. How am I gonna rate this? Because this is from the Naruto. This is from the creator of Naruto, and that Naruto likes ramen bowls. I'm just gonna rate this out of 4 ramen bowls. I honestly give this a 2.5 ramen bowls. There we go. It's great artwork, cool story idea, very poor story execution. Like, I don't know, I tried looking up those, like, why is the first chapter so damn long? Because I've never heard of that before. 74 chapters. When they... God, I forgot which manga it was. But I think it was Nora, the Last Chronicle of Devildom. When they released that manga on Shonen Jump back when they were doing paper copies, they literally did the first 3 chapters, and because those chapters like 20 pages long each, so that was like 60 pages. But it was like they gradually showed the world and the story within those 60 pages. They didn't just dump it all in the first chapter and hope for the best. By the way, if you haven't read Nora, the Last Chronicle of Devildom, it's one of my favorite guilty pleasures. It's a very short read. It's 12 chapters. I highly recommend that as well. 4 out of 4 ramen bowls. But as for Hachi himself, Hachimaru, Samurai 8 to Tale of Hachimaru, I would give this a 2.5 out of 4 ramen bowls. Am I going to read the volume 2? Hate to say it, probably not. I might give it the manga reread just to see if, there's something I missed. But yeah, that's this review of Samurai 8 by Hachimaru. Samurai 8 Tale of Hachimaru by Masashi Kishimoto and Akira Okubo. Hachimaru didn't write the manga, I'm sorry. This is the first time I ever done a review of a manga on this channel, so I'm hoping you guys appreciate. I hope you guys like this. Let me know if you want me to do more. And yeah, good day and good gaming, everybody.